Hello, everybody, and welcome to Unconventional GMs, the channel where we play fast, pacey one-shots with vim and vigor. We're going to Spire today, a vast city, mile-high architectural wonder built atop a blistering hole in the ground, a dangerous dungeon that maybe we'll go to in a future episode. It's your city. You're all drow, dark elves, but for the last 200 years, you've been oppressed and occupied by the high elves, the Aelfir. They very graciously allow you to live in Spire as long as you all complete a 4-year durance and you're coming of age. So you all have to do work experience or national service for 4 years when you become. That's a contemporary reference when we're recording this, the UK election, just for just to date where we are here. But you're always at the beck and call of your Aelfir masters, and it rankles with you all that the drow have been reduced to such states. So all of you have decided to do something about it. In this city of 1,000 gods, you've joined the ministry of our hidden mistress, just one of those forgotten gods, and joined this sort of part cult, part freedom fighters, part, to be honest, terrorist cell that are going to overthrow the Aelfir and win your freedom. You've got a mission tonight that you're going to go that involves you going into the slums of Red Row and making an example of one of the gun runners there. But first, let's meet the team of players that we've got and also the team of Dark Elves that we're going to be playing with. I'm starting with my co-host on Unconventional GMs, Gaz.
Hello everyone, I'm Gaz. I'm one half Unconventional GM and the other half of me is co-host of What Would the Smart Party Do, the UK's premier RPG podcast. Tonight, I'm going to be playing a huge Dark Elf. If you imagine a cross between Brienne of Tarth from the Game of Thrones TV series with Brian Blessed from the 1980s Flash Gordon movie. There's something for you to go on YouTube. I'm an androgynous but huge dark elf. I've always got this 5 o'clock shadow, and you can't tell whether it's stubble or just muck that doesn't get cleaned off properly. Encased in a dark set of metal armor and carrying a huge greatsword across my back. I am one of the knights, one of the keepers of the pubs down by the dockside, and as such, I'm one of the few allowed to openly carry such a massive chopper. I like drinking, I like brawling, I like carousing, and so joining a team of resistance fighters and staying quiet about things is not really in my idiom, but nevertheless, I drink and I'm belligerent, and I've had enough of these Aelfir. I want to do something about it.
Fantastic. I'm sure that won't. I'm sure that won't be an issue at all for it. Excellent. So Katona, our knight. Becky, who are you and who are you playing?
Hello there. I'm Becky, and I am playing Kovacs, who is the Bound. They are slim, agile, very dexterous. Carry a fabulous axe, which is imbued with the small gods, as well as their armor and ropes. And they are, very keen to complete tonight's mission and be one step closer to being the hero that that Spire needs.
Fantastic. Olga, who are you playing?
Yeah, hello, my name is Olga Botijn. I am a game designer. I designed the Eternal Grind Cafe. If you ever want to set fire to someone in customer service, this is your chance. And tonight I'll be playing Toth, the Azeroth Priest. I honor the blue-clad god, and I know that everyone has a price. It's a mix between Littlefinger and Lucifer Morningstar.
Excellent. All the references coming in from there. People going away and Googling stuff as we speak. Finally, a new player to Unconventional GMs, Sebastian. Who are you and who are you playing?
Yeah, hi, I'm Sebastian, and will be playing Dobros, the Inksmith. Let's say a little bit shaky person in morals, but very interested in pulp fiction and all that comes with it. And he's trying to influence the world with his stories that he is forming while he wanders through it.
Sounds fantastic. So just for the avoidance of doubt, the viewers at home that aren't familiar with Spire's setting, all of these characters are imbued with particular sort of magical veins. So Dobros is an inksmith, so sort of tabloid journalist, but he's able to manipulate the stories and make things happen using his magic. Thoth, as an Azurite, you might think of as a merchant, but through their worship of the blue-clad god of gold, can also do all kinds of deal-making magics and so on. Kovac, your bound gods, the small gods in your axe, whisper to you and help you do it. And Kitona, Gaz's character, does indeed have a massive sword and is good at drinking as part of a magical order of knights that go on pub crawls. That's clear. So we're going to get a little bit. All of you are a cell for the ministry and have worked together before, and you've all got into various scrapes. So each of you will have a bond on your character sheet with another player character. So we're going to go around and hopefully we'll sort of even it out and work it out. But we're going to go around and do those just so we get a bit of background to what we're doing in the same order that we did. So Gaz, do you want to start out? If you just do the PC bond, who do you have a bond with in the group and what is it? And there might be a question attached to it that we'll just briefly answer now as well.
I think, I went out on a night out with someone, and I think it's going to be Dobros the inksmith, and we got into a wild scrape, and it started out as a bit of a pub brawl, but then extended for weeks as me and Dobros. I came up with the main ideas, then Dobros put them into words, as they were equivalent of a rap battle going on between us and the person that we bumped into that night. As backwards and forwards in the newspapers and letters, there was kind of a diss track via the method of ink magic going backwards and forwards between us.
Absolutely.
Until I eventually went and punched my enemy in the head and made it all go away.
Oh
Fantastic.
yeah, that was actually the first start, the start of my first novel that I wrote. Definitely.
Excellent. So a rap battle define you. Becky, what's Kovac's bond question?
It is who I rescued from a dangerous situation. So I think I will have rescued Thoth. And I think potentially you were probably trying to make a deal. The blue god did not seem to be on your side that day, and things turned pretty ugly. And luckily I was nearby and scaled the building you were in front of with my rope and lifted you up as your life was about to be ended by the people you had either been swindling or trying to get more money out of than you should.
Fantastic.
The exact amount of money I should.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Speaking of deals, Thoth, what's your bond and who is it with?
Who did I help get out of debt and how did they get into debt in the first place? And I think I owe Kovacs a big one for saving my life. So when Kovacs came, when he had that little problem with, was it a friend or a lover? They were very married, I'm afraid, but there was a misunderstanding and someone demanded a big price. And we smoothed that over, mainly by selling very terrible information. It's okay.
Thank you.
They will never find out it was you.
Excellent. Fantastic. And finally, Sebastian, what's your bond question for Dobros and who was it with?
My bond question is the PC who you published a story about, and what did it say, and and are they happy about it? And probably it might be that I actually wrote about Thoth and his spending and wasting of money that he sometimes does, and he might not be too happy about what I wrote about him, but
Pure slander.
It's still slanderous if it's true. Is that the case? Fantastic. So we've all been on some missions together. So because this is a one shot, we're just going to introduce the mission. Then we're going to start in medias res a little bit, but we'll do a little bit of background of how you've got there. So what you're going to do tonight is you're going to go to Red Row. Spire, as we've said, is a vertical city, and like all such vertical cities in fantasy literature, the rich people live at the top and the poor people live at the bottom. So as you go down and down to the sort of working class area, the works, where they have the middle city and the algae farms, get even below that, starting to get a little bit subterranean, you get to Derelictus, which is not just where the poor folk live, but also very close to the massive dungeon that lies below Spire. So you get all kinds of people, gutterkin, strange half-humans running around here. And the only place in Derelictus where people really can make a name for themselves is a place called Red Row, which is the crime capital, really, of the whole of Spire. You're going to go to Red Row. Red Row's got 3 sort of bosses to it. One of them is Mr. Winters. He's a gun runner who also deals a little bit in the drug, dabbles a bit in the drug trade, has his finger in a lot of pies. He's a very well-connected man. He lives in a mansion in one of the busiest slums of Red Row, obviously well protected and so on. He's having a birthday party tonight that he has put invitations out to it. And you're going to go and you're going to kill him. He's been undercutting the prices that he sells his weapons to the ministry by also selling it to the city guard and some of the Aelfir paladins that are your like sworn enemies. And you maybe discovered some of his weapons in their hands as they came to cut you down. So you're going to go down. It's Red Row, so you're going to go down. Somehow we'll work out how you got an invitation. You're going to go to his party and you're going to find the right time to kill him. This isn't a quiet job. This is Red Row. This is Derelictus. You need to send a message. So you need to make it as noisy and as messy as you can. Sneaky, sneaky Shadowrun assassination mission. This is not. However, with that in mind, Mr. Winters is one of the 3 most powerful people in the entirety of Derelictus. So everything's going to be quite well guarded. So your first sort of, the first thing you need to work out is how you're going to get some invitations to this party. So I'm sort of looking at maybe Thoth and Dobros as the 2 characters who are maybe better suited to this kind of acquiring invitations. That doesn't involve hitting someone with a sword or stealing it off them in a back alley like Kovacs might do. Olga, do you have any idea how Thoth might have procured an invitation, or what you might have tried to get one with?
Oh, well, people come to me with desires and I work my magic, but always at a price. And sometimes the price is not gold or information. Sometimes it's someone's invitation. And I think I am, if I have to just go for myself, maybe I'm just someone's +1, and that someone hates my guts.
Well, I think let's see how successful you are at procuring these invitations. Let's have our first dice roll. And probably what's at stake is not just you taking some stress to maybe Shadow or Silver, but also whether you can get invitations for everyone else, or whether you are indeed a +1 of someone who hates your guts, which would make it a little bit tricky to do. So you get a D10 anyway for this roll. It sounds a bit like you might be compelling here.
One could say I am compelling. One could also say I'm performing my religion.
Yeah, you're compelling. And do you have? And I think for you, I would let you use the domain religion because it's about cutting a deal and stuff. So I think that's 3D10 you've got. If you want to make a roll.
I'm rolling right now. I have an 8, a 6, and a 2.
Brilliant. So we're only really interested in the top result there, which is an 8, which is a success without any cost. So I think how I can interpret that, and sometimes we'll pass narration between us, but for this one, I think I'll take it, is that as the result of a very successful deal, you've managed to procure low-level sort of invitations for the rest of the party, everyone here. You don't need to be someone's +1. You've managed to maybe dissuade one minor merchant from attending, and his sheaf of 4 invitations have been thus procured for the group. So we're able to go without any problems. Okay, so let's smash cut to the party. You are. We're going to go in. You have just arrived, possibly together or very shortly apart. You've been escorted into this vast sort of sprawling mansion. That one of those things where when you see the street, it looks bigger than the other houses, but it doesn't look that grand, but it goes back a long way. So it doesn't stand out. It's not too ostentatious in Red Row, but certainly once you're in, you can see this is very, very well kept. Obviously, you've been, you came past the guards. They looked askance at the weapons that you presumably have concealed. Gaz Katona, you don't need to conceal it. Everyone knows you're a knight. It's part of your thing is to carry a massive sword with you at all times. And generally, the knights, so that they might keep an eye on you, but generally, it's a zero-sum game with knights because on the one hand, they might get drunk and cause trouble. On the other hand, if some trouble starts, it's normally quite handy to have a knight around there to do it. So the guards are watching. You're in the main room here. You can see that there is a number of sort of guards and guests milling around in the front room, nibbling. A little bit further, you can see there's a dance room, and you can see that there's a band just playing sort of low mood music. Nobody's quite dancing yet, but you think that might happen soon. Through to the bar, you can also see on the other side, there's you can just about make out through the sort of haze of smoke. There are several guests in there sort of getting drinks and talking. One of them you recognize is Elizabeth Threadneedle, who is one of the other bosses and really one of Mr. Winter's sort of big rivals. So the fact that she's here would cause a little bit of a surprise. The guards are sort of this way and that. You can see there's not a lot sort of, the party's just about starting. You pass through some crowds to get here. And as you sort of pile in, you can just hear two drow that are at the bar are sort of arguing loudly and complaining about what's happening. And they're saying this, it's a rubbish party. It's not going to start yet. I can't believe we even bothered coming. Mr. Winters hasn't even come to his own party. His own son hasn't even come to his own party. This is rubbish. What's going to happen here? We can't even do it. So you can see the guards are sort of looking towards them and are just making this thing about whether they go or not. Also, some of the waiters seem to be like catching each other's eyes and looking towards these two, so they might be causing trouble, but they're not sure what's happening just yet. I'm going to go to maybe Gaz first. What's your approach here? What are you planning on doing?
I'm going to set things up so that, I mean, these two seem a likely pair anyway, but I'm guessing at some point we're going to want some kind of distraction. So I'm going around drinking a lot so that I can store up glasses in one place, so that if we need to smash glasses, cause like broken glass everywhere, make loads of noise, cut people's feet, that kind of thing. That's partly what I'm doing, but I'm also sizing up not just these two, but anyone else who looks like a troublemaker or is likely to be provocable, so that when it comes to it, I can start pushing people's buttons and getting things raucous if we need it. Okay,
is that so? You're actually trying to like get set up and maybe set up a future thing to be ready for that. So putting yourself about a bit, that might even be a dice roll. To do that, to see if you can do it without looking too suspicious. I
don't know what a fix is, but I'm trying to fix the room to my liking. If that it might not be that. But
fix is like repair people, things, or relationships.
Oh.
I think this might be a little bit more like compel, deceive, maybe even steal.
Yeah, compelling people, because I'll be shoving people about, and yeah, if I need some people out of an area, I'll be going in and throwing myself about so they end up moving somewhere else and giving us a clean getaway space or something like that, or that kind of thing. So yeah, I'm basically acting like a sheepdog, herding the crowds around the way I want them and setting things up.
Excellent. Do you have a domain that's relevant, do you think?
Does this count as low society because we're in the depths of the spire in the lowest parts of the city?
It depends on sort of who you're interacting with. Most of the guests aren't really low society. That's the problem. If you were talking to the hired help Or
But yeah,
going
the guards and the people who are like can get
Mm.
through to the kitchens or the back doors and things like that. That's probably more what I'm aiming at. So
Yeah. So yeah, I'll let you have it. But let's go on. Roll your dice to it.
I get an 8 is my best roll.
Fantastic. That's a success without a problem. So you managed to build up a sizable collection of glasses, and I think you've managed to. I mean, I'm reading into what you're wanting from this role. You've managed to establish yourself as sort of lots of people know that you're here. There's lots of people who know to get out of your way if there's going to be something kicking off. You've set up quite well that if something sort of kicks off, there'll be an advantage to it then. So if that becomes relevant as a one-off, you're going to get mastery towards that.
Yeah. Chats with the guards about the fights we've had or the fights we've watched down by the docks, all that kind of stuff. Just get ingratiated with them.
Excellent. You find out a little bit more as well from there. The guards that are there, you detect a little bit of a sort of atmosphere between the guards and the waiting staff. And you hear a few scant sort of comments and maybe even witness a few of the waiters like mess something up or like spill some wine as they're pouring it. As if and just comments like, oh, they're not the usual, but I don't know why he's got them in for tonight. Waste of time, isn't it? They seem a little bit like unhappy with that.
Yeah, I mean, it's almost like they have skills in other areas and they are moonlighting as waiters and things and would perhaps be something else.
Oh, do you think? Well, the guy says, oh yeah, that's something to think about, isn't it? Maybe that's, oh yeah. Well, it makes you think, doesn't it? Well, keep an eye on them anyway.
And I'll stare over the heads to see my arch comments and miss them completely and watch them go over the heads
completely. Yeah. While this is going on, just happening concurrently to that, as you run the party, what's Kovacs doing, Becky?
I think, having heard that the main man himself and his son are still not at the party, that seems a bit dodgy to me. So I would be quite keen to try and use one of my abilities, which is surprise infiltration.
Go ahead.
To try and get into like an area away from the party to try and see if I can locate Mr. Winters and his son and see if there is anything going on there.
That sounds absolutely fantastic. Yeah, indeed. You can tell that there's obviously many back rooms to this mansion with sort of locked doors and guards on them that you're not meant to go, that there aren't any guests in. So certainly trying to get beyond those to try and find Mr. Winters or his son.
Cool.
How does that power work? Just because I've not got it in front of me. Do you need to make a skill roll?
It says just one session, insert yourself into a situation you could conceivably get into.
Fantastic.
So I'm happy to make a roll at sneak and crime or whatever.
I don't think you need to for that. If it's a once per session thing, I think you can just do it and not take any stress. So I think you're gonna find yourself able to sneak past and get into the back rooms. Do you have Kovacs? What approach do you take to do that? You're going to be successful, so feel free to narrate however you do it to get past these guarded doors.
Yeah, I think this is a situation that I'm not used to. I'm definitely used to like low society. These people, I don't blend in. So it's definitely, I'm going to be sneaking around, sort of just doing my best to like keep out of line of sight of people and maybe like using my rope to climb up places and just, all stealth and dark shadowy corners and stuff as opposed to pretending to be somebody of influence or something like that.
Yeah, so I think we see you standing with a sort of glass of wine by a curtain, and then we just see a hand put the glass down and
I'm gone.
A little grappling hook above a curtain
the
rail.
Curtain just goes like this.
And then yeah. And the rest of you look around and Kovacs is nowhere to be seen. And I think you get to like the first floor of the mansion, and you can just make out the balcony at the back of here. You can see a figure which looks like a youthful chap, just smoking and muttering to himself. And you can make out, just as you're not aware that you're there. I mean, it's another birthday. He's too old for this. Will he ever give it to me, though? Will he ever let me take the reins? Doesn't even let me order the guards around. One day I'll get mine. And you hear a bottle being opened. You surmise this might be Mr. Winter's son.
Okay,
But we'll cut from there as you're sort of behind the curtain looking around. Olga, what's Thoth doing as you arrive at this party?
Well, I have one situation, a power where I can take an NPC and observe them and see what they truly, truly, truly desire.
Mm-hmm.
So I position myself lazily. I have some people coming up to me and asking for things, and I just listen to them happily, but I'm actually looking at Elizabeth Threadneedle and thinking, what does that lady want, and why is she here, and what can I get from that?
Okay, so Elizabeth Threadneedle, just to put some sort of, is a very well put together 50-something crime boss, really. She's dressed up to the nines. She's surrounded by a sort of gaggle of onlookers and yes men who clearly, you can observe without even the role, see that she is just telling her what she wants to hear, are laughing at all of her jokes. You can so your power lets you decide exactly what she wants right now. Is that
what she desires most right now?
What she desires most right now. Okay, well, again, you don't need to roll. You can just do it by sort of sneaking into the bar and slyly looking. You can tell as the blue god whispers to you, what she is most of all right now is bored. You can see it in her eyes. What she craves is some excitement. She's accepted this invitation because it was so unusual and thinks something's going to happen here that could be that could be entertaining for her or worth her being present. But so far nothing has, and she's just got the regular crowd of hangers-on trying to entertain her. What she craves most of all right now is something to entertain her or to give a bit of excitement.
I malignantly smile at Dobros and say, like, I think this extremely wealthy, powerful lady is a little bit bored, and what more than can she want than attention from Inksmith? Why don't you interact with her?
And on that note, let's go to Dobros.
Okay. Well, Dobros is looking at the whole scene and thinks like, we have to make it big. We have to make it grand. So the best thing to do that is to rile up some people to really make a show out of that. And with that, I want to use an ability that is the Bon Vivant ability.
Yeah. So what does that do?
That also fits exactly in entertaining Miss Elizabeth Threadneedle. It lets me declare that I'm carrying a drug with me on person, enough to share with a few people, and I will suffer no ill effects from intoxication, or that is how I interpret it.
That's right.
And I think I just have this powder from a flower that can only be found in the depths of the Spire, somewhere like hard to get, really hard to grow, dried and powdered, and it gives you that little bit of extra energy and little bit of self-confidence that one would need in such a situation. And I think next to Elizabeth, I pick a few people that I think look like they might just tip the edge in our favor the moment things go a little bit off the rails, and entertain them a little bit in the sight of the feast, and like, hey, do you want to try this? It's really good.
Okay, so I am going to make you roll for this. It's going to work. They're going to take this drug that gives them lots of energy, but how helpful their reaction is what's at stake here, really, whether it's entirely to your favor or not. So I think it's probably compel.
Compel,
flattery, charm, intimidation. It's what you're trying to do. So you get a D10 anyway. If you've got compel, you get an extra one.
Yeah.
and these could be, you could use crime, you could use low society.
Yeah, low society I have.
Yeah, these
so
are
I
hangers
think
on.
that would fit well in here. So let's see what I roll. A 9 is my highest roll.
Fantastic. Another success. I'm glad your luck's doing well now so it can run out later. Yes. So they take some of the drug. They're your friends. That they, you know, their names, they're Lorick and Hall. And they are, what are you trying to do? Just get them on side, entertain them, make them have entertain Elizabeth Threadneedle? What are you trying to do with this? You've got it.
First of all, I think Elizabeth herself. I will tell her a story and like, oh, milady, you look a little bit bored. Well, I might just have the thing. You know, it's really hard to get. Take a little bit of this powder, and the night will be much nicer.
So you're actually wanting Elizabeth to take some as well?
Yeah, I would definitely like Elizabeth to take some as well, like if I can get her to.
So yeah. I mean, she being a crime boss here, she's gives a sniff and said, "This is exceptional." And you see, she sort of the camera that we see zooms in on just you and her like lackeys fade away a little bit as she sort of puts her hand on your shoulder and spins you round away from them and says, as she takes it, she says, "This is exceptional. Where did you get this?"
Oh,
believe me, I can make you a very, very good deal. As she looks over her shoulder and is trying to maneuver you away from Thoth to do this deal with you. And at that point, I think, as we've got this deal going on, you begin to hear some shouting from outside. And as you look around, I think, Kovacs, you're maybe out of this scene, but the rest of you can hear. This happens every so often in Derelictus. There's some shouts of like arms for the poor. Go on, having a party in there while we're out here starving. At least chuck us some algae out to chew on. And it's all getting a bit terse. You see a couple of the guards are looking at each other and saying, "Right, let's go on." And they seem to be making out as if they're going to go out and cause make a bit of a scene of these people. And as they're sort of getting tooled up to do so, a brick flies through the window and lands sort of in the middle of the dance floor where there's a sort of shocked from everyone. And at that point, guests start sort of shoving guards everywhere. You can see that the guards are making to run out and maybe bust some heads outside. But also you can see the waiters are sort of not knowing what to do. They're trying to putting their wine and their trays down and then making their way forward from there. Maybe go to Gaz first. What's your reaction to this? Are you going to try and join in with them or stop them or try and diffuse the situation?
I'm going to encourage it. I'm going to stoke the flames.
Excellent. How are you doing that exactly?
I'll pick up the brick that was thrown, and I'd like the words of the inksmith are ringing in my ears, going like, "I'll tell you what, I'll make a good night. I'm a good night, and this will make an even better night." And then I'm going to throw the brick back the way it came through the window. So, "Oh, come on, don't stand for this." And I also want to like get a grip on what's happening with these waiters because I'm suspicious of one. So I'll start pushing people forward, and the guards are out of the way and stuff. And then I'm gonna like in the confusion, I'm gonna grab one of the waiters and like bundle him under the stairs or something like out of the way place, and start shaking him down for information. Oh, what's going on here?
Excellent. So I think
slapping him about.
I think the winding up stuff that all just happens without a roll. Everyone's quite keen for you to be like kind of, "Oh yeah, go for it. Oh, we've got a knight on our side." They don't look backwards to see if you're still coming out with them to go and bust some heads. I think like we zoom into under this stair where you've got a waiter with his little bow tie there looking at you as you're trying to sort of rough him up and see what's going on. I think there's a role for that actually.
I want to compel him.
Intimidation, yeah, compel. Do you have? I don't actually think you've got the domain that this works with. What domain are you thinking of using?
I was going to say crime because I'm illegally beating him up for information.
I'm afraid it won't be crime. And I don't want to say much more before reveal, because that might reveal the information that you're about to find out. You see what I mean?
Okay.
He's not a criminal.
I will not to do that. I'll get one from just double check.
Yeah. You get one, and you'll get, if you've got compelled, you get one as well.
Yeah, okay. Just 2 dice, it looks like. See what happens. I get a 5 is the best I can do.
So it's a 5, it's a failure, and you are going to take stress. So I think I'll tell you what sort of happens here. You bundle him into behind the beneath the stairs. That almost as you start shaking him down, you feel 2 of them like behind you and like just pull you out and say, "What the hell is it you're doing?" And I'll roll the stress and see if anything happens from that. You're going to take from that. It's actually a more dangerous, and these people are a bit stronger than you'd expect waiters to be, funnily enough, as if they know how to like drag people around, even someone of your bulk. So you're going to take, I think, D6 stress to maybe shadow, because you're trying to sort of get 6.
Sounds a lot.
So that is quite a lot, isn't it? That is just 6 stress, isn't it, as well?
Mm-hmm.
So you might take some fallout here as well. But you don't take any fallout from it. You are going to sort of fail forward a bit and find out a little bit about them, though. So as they sort of drag you to the floor, one of them sort of gets you in an arm lock, while the other one pulls you back and stuff in a very sort of well practiced way. That, like, you and your knights sometimes do this to people, but you're trained at doing this. It's that they're very good at it. And then they sort of let you go, and it's sort of like, what you do? And then it sort of goes, they realize that maybe you weren't actually kicking off, and maybe they've got the wrong. So, and the other guy says, "Oh, just a misunderstanding. I slipped and fell under the staircase." Yeah.
I just wanted another canapé. I don't know why we have to make such a big deal out of this. I'll say it with an equally unlikely kind of excuse as to what was going.
I don't know why. As you see them like eyeing you up and down and catching this and making a note of exactly who you are. Yeah, exactly. We know you're up to something now.
Yeah, I'm doing the same back of them.
Yeah, because you do also know they're up to something. While this goes on, Thoth, are you reacting to this big kickoff, this opportunity that's arisen?
Yes, but I think I kind of... Do I also get a sense that the waiters are not really waiters?
I think that's, we can share that information. Yeah, they might not be waiters.
Because I think I kind of walk up to Kitona and I say, "I had a vision from the blue-clad god, and it was that Mr. Winters was thrown out of a balcony window and torn by the paw. We only need to make it happen. I think we need to go upstairs, perhaps." And while he does that, he kind of walks past the bar, and almost like a cat, he kind of tips over bottles with heavy liquor, like the flammable kind. Just like make sure they drip everywhere. The waiters are very busy and they're probably not very good at cleaning up. And he just takes one of the heavy liquor bottles and pops it in his things, throws another one behind him in the crowd, and sashays up the stairs.
Okay, so in order to get up the stairs, you are going to have to make a roll, because you've Kovacs used a power to do that, but the guards are still sort of keeping an eye. You've got a bit of an opportunity now because there's a bit of a kickoff outside, but you can make that roll if you want. So it's going to be, I think it's sneak or steal really is what this is to get upstairs. That's the main thing. Knocking over the bottles can just happen.
I can't compel the guard.
No, you can't compel them to sneak past you. That's as
very
described.
Well. And can I use high society or no, is the god low society or high society? I look at him, I size him up. I know what kind of prices I would bargain his deals for.
I think I'll let you use I'll let you use low society here. That seems reasonable.
Very well. That's 2 dice.
Yeah.
And yeah, like a sneaky, but I fail. I look at him and he catches me with this bottle.
Yeah, you're not going to get upstairs, and you're also going to take a little bit of stress for this. This is not going to be quite as bad. This is going to be a D4 stress. as if the guards are less powerful than the waiters, funnily enough. So yeah, you are, as you knock over the bottles, that I think maybe gets their attention. And as you go to the stairs, you just notice the guards saying, oh, sorry, upstairs is off limits, even to the blue god. And you're going to take, I think, some shadow stress as well. So can you take 3 shadow stress?
Yes, I can.
And I do need to check for fallout now as well, because every time you take stress, I need to check fallout. But you don't. You're fine. You don't take any fallout from that. But you see him again. You see them looking you up and down, and sort of wondering why an Azurite might be sneaking around and going.
I pretend to be drunk and I offer him a sip of the booze.
Says, oh, I've got yeah. That's not we'll. And he says, yeah, is that a fair not a fair trade? Yes, as he tries to desperately avoid making a deal with you. Okay, let's go. Sorry, go on.
I basically look at him and say, "What's your name?" And you don't have to answer that, but it's more as a threat. Like you don't want an Azurite priest to remember your name, I think.
Okay, yeah. As he thinks a long time to try and make up a name. Let's cut upstairs now. We'll come back to Dobros and his drug dealing in a bit. Let's cut upstairs. Kovacs, you can see, in fact, you know his name. Devlin Winters is the son. He's a little bit worse for wear on the balcony. You can hear him talking to himself, complaining about his lot in life. What's your approach?
Do I know much about the son? Because obviously we're here to kill Winters, and it seems like if we do kill Winters, he's going to take over. So is that going to be a good thing for us or a bad thing for us is what I want to know, I think, in this.
I think what you will have learned in your sort of mission briefing, that, yeah, his son would naturally take over. If the son was on side, that would obviously be a benefit to the ministry. I think you might know the reputation is that the son's a bit useless, and that's why he's not been given a role yet. And nothing that you can see now you've seen him in the flesh immediately persuades you otherwise, as he just seems to be like, as he pours another glass, even since you've been here, and necks it down. And I think you can hear the shouting from below in the balcony as well, actually. It's all around the mansion. So there is that. And you can see that he's eyeing up and not sure what to do with that.
I think as a warm-up to the main showdown that we're here to create, that maybe the son falling to his death amongst the par is like an appetizer. So
Go on.
so I am gonna just try and shove him over the balcony.
Excellent. Yeah. This is a one shot with pace, vim, and vigor. I like that it's not just me that gets to escalate matters. So you're going to push him over the balcony. I need to actually get his stats
if possible.
So he's a right. Oh yeah, fantastic. Right, we might have our first fight. It might not last very long though. So pushing him off the balcony is going to be a fight check.
Yep.
I am going to give you mastery because he hasn't seen you yet. So that you'll get an extra D10 for that. You get a D10 for fight if you've got it.
Yeah.
This is very much high society though. He is.
Don't get anything for that. Yeah. Okay, so 2d10. Come on.
Have you got fight?
Yes.
So you always get 1d10 and you've got mastery.
Oh, great.
You'd have 3. Just roll another one and then we can.
Oh, my best is a 7.
Okay, success at a cost. Take stress. So you will have on your weapons, you will have some stress that you can inflict on there. I think you were trying to throw him over there, weren't you? Mm-hmm. Which is probably just, let's say, a D8 stress that he gets from being thrown over there into the crowd. Do you want to roll your D8 and see where he gets to? You are going to take some stress as well, though, from here. So.
Oh no, a 1.
Definitely going to take some stress. So you push him into the balcony, but he, quite a bulky man, he manages to spin back around to you, grab the bottle and smash it against the side of your face. You're going to take some blood stress from this. You're going to take 1 blood stress. You're probably not. You're probably going to take it to your armor. But...
Yeah, I'm going to take it to my armor.
So you whisper a prayer to the small gods, and he staggers back and says, what's happening?
Oh, are we
He asks
carrying
you,
on?
yeah.
Oh, I thought we were going to somebody else. Sorry.
No, I'm just stick here for a little bit.
I'm just gonna say nothing you'll remember in the morning and swing my axe at him.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, let's go. Yeah, let's stick here for another roll and see how this goes. If this ends up being an ongoing melee, go for it. So yeah, it'd be fine. You don't have mastery anymore, but yeah.
Okay. Oh, not d8s. A 10.
Okay, that's a critical success. So you roll your stress from your axe and add 1 to it. That's how much you'll do to him.
5.
Okay, so what happens is you swing your axe and smash him back into the sort of balcony railings, and he batters there. You can see he's got blood coming out of him, and he's sort of he's looking down. You can tell as if he's going to jump. He says, "I don't. What? I always knew he'd come for me sometime. Help! Help!" And starts screaming for help.
Mm-hmm.
That's where we'll cut back from you. See what I mean? Dobros, you're downstairs. Elizabeth Threadneedle has, with sort of complete focus on you and ignoring as everyone now is rushing about, we've got this oasis of calm as she's got your undivided attention and is saying, where did you get this stuff? And where can you get me some more? And what do I have to do to make you get me some more?
Well, these are interesting questions. We can answer the where can I get you some definitely soon. What you could do for me is, well, you see, this party is really boring, as you seem
It's
to
like
already
people
have
rushing
noticed.
around everywhere, stuff smashing around. Yeah,
but it is getting quite lively, and I really rather have an interest in seeing Mr. Winters. Let's say somewhere on the side. If you could arrange that, that would be very helpful for me.
says Mr. Winters. I haven't got the power to me. I'm not the person to make him appear as if by magic. However, I am very interested in seeing him appear here too and finding out exactly what's going on and why he deigned to invite me.
Well,
might we propose an alliance of sorts? I don't even know your name or trade.
Just was thinking the same thing. Well, names can be, let's say, dangerous.
Yes, that's why you're. That's why I'd like to know yours. She says. Okay, well, so I am going to make you roll because this forging alliance is actually going to be quite useful for the whole ministry. If you can get Elizabeth Thread, not just for tonight, if you can get her on side, it means you might, even if Mr. Winters isn't on the scene, which hopefully he won't be, you might have an alliance from here. So I am going to make you roll because it also may be interesting if you don't manage to do it. So you're going to get a D10 anyway. I think what you're doing is either compel or deceive.
Compel, definitely.
Yeah, because you probably can get more of that drug from there. And she is, well, crime or high society would fit with her.
I don't have either, so I will just roll 2 dice
Go for
and
it.
see how it works out. That is a 6.
Okay, success is a cost and take some stress. So, yeah, I think she says, certainly an alliance would be fine. And without you saying her name, I think she says, it's Dobros, isn't it? I mean, I know you have a pen name. I like that account of the fight. That was very exciting. The fight with a knight.
One of my masterpieces.
But anyway, Dobros, you'll be writing some stories about me now, won't you? You are going to take some stress to your shadow because she does know your name, it appears.
Okay.
Now. So just 3 stress to your shadow, which I think means you take 2. And I need to check fallout. You're okay, let's get 1. No, you're fine. Nobody's taking any fallout yet. but she does know who you are. So commotion going on. Nobody has quite rushed outside yet, but some guards are making their way to do so. And as this is all going on, and drowning out the cries of help from above on the balcony, there's a shot is heard, and all of you in the downstairs bit of it can see someone who you recognize, Sal Griswold, a statuesque woman, and Mr. Winter's chief of security, stands halfway up the stairs, pistol in hand, and says, "Stop. We'll board the window. The party will continue. Orders of Mr. Winters personally." And the guards and the waiters suddenly move back as if nothing has happened. And you can see that not only is the window being boarded, but the doors are being they're like, you can see them putting chairs up against them and just making sure they're locked. Says, "I can reassure you, this mansion is impregnable. The riffraff won't get in here. Mr. Winters will be down shortly. In the meantime, carry on." And there's a moment of silence. I'm going to quickly cut to upstairs to see if we hear a shout of help from his son when it all goes quiet, or if we don't. Becky, I think you're in like this is a third and final round to try and, well, what are you going to do? He's lying there bleeding. He's like he's on his last legs.
Oh, difficult. Am I going to kick him over the balcony, or am I going to tell him that his father sent me to kill him? I could do both.
Why not both?
Yeah, I'm going to say there's no hope in crying for help. It was your father that sent me to do this. His staff are under orders not to come. And then I'm gonna just get hold my axe with the handle facing towards him and just roll him off if I can.
Excellent. I mean, you're gonna have to roll for it because he might have a knife or something. He might take you with him.
He might.
It's probably fight still. He's high society.
So 2d10. Come on, d10. A 9.
Success, no stress. You see him, you see the fight go out of him. But then when he realizes, and he completely believes the guards haven't, to such point that he doesn't even scream as he as he falls down, and we get like a shot from above of his body landing in the midst of this crowd. And I think then you just hear said, is that Devlin Winters? What's going on in there? What's going on in there? He's dead. Somebody's killed him. This is going to be bad for all of us. And the commotion outside has changed feel a little bit on that side of the house. Speaking of commotion, that's probably a good point to take a break before it escalates even more. Maybe Kovacs will come back to the party and kill somebody else. We'll see. So we're going to take 5 minutes now. We'll edit out, so just be a few minutes for viewers at home, but we'll catch you later in a little bit. Welcome back, everybody. The party is in full swing down in Red Row. Everybody's having a lovely time. Everybody perhaps except for Devlin Winters, who's just been thrown to his death from a balcony by Kovacs, our bound. As we see the scene, the three of you are downstairs. The doors are being sort of barred. The windows are being barred to keep the riffraff, the rioting crowd outside. And everyone's gingerly getting back to the party. The muffled cries of help from Devlin Winters from up on the balcony were drowned out and have since been stopped by the false revelation that Kovacs was sent by his father to kill him. So not just killed, but also the entire life has flashed before his eyes as he does that. It's a hard life in the ministry. Sometimes you've got to make those judgments to win hearts and minds. Let's go back to down in the party now. As Kovacs, you take stock of the situation, and maybe step away from the balcony and the panicking crowds below there who have just discovered the body that you've thrown over. So back in the party, Kitona and Thoth, you've sort of ended up in the same sort of general area of the main room as everyone makes back to do it. And you are disturbed, if you see what I mean, a little bit. Well, not disturbed. You notice a character come towards you who you recognise as Patricia Isen. She's a noble-born drow and one of Mr. Winter's associates. And she's making a beeline for you, Thoth, and is saying, some of our best customers clearly come to talk business. I don't like to do it at the party, but I'm assuming you wanting your regular shipment. And as she's saying this, Kitona, you like looking out of it, notice behind her that two of the guards are sort of manhandling, escorting a short man, sort of bearded, weathered man out. You recognise this man. He's Finster. He's one of Mr. Winter's very, very most skilled gunsmiths. But they appear to be throwing him out, saying, you've had too many. Mr. Winter says you need to leave. So I haven't touched a drop. I don't know why this is. Go get Mr. Winters. I'm not doing. So this big commotion's going down. Gaz or Olga, what do you do in response to these two things that are sort of happening at the same time?
I want to work out what's going on with someone being thrown out, because that's my kind of speed. And either I'm the one being thrown out or I'm throwing other people out. And if there's some throwing out going on, I should be involved one way or the other.
Cool. So how are you going to get involved in this?
So I'm going to rush over, and I've got 3 glasses of algae champagne, what we have around here.
Yeah.
Like put one between each knuckle, and I'm going to pour them up so that like the champagne comes from the back one to the middle one to the front, and then into my mouth in like a cascading thing, and then smash the glasses on the floor. And say, right, who's claiming to have drunk more than me? And I'll like grab hold of Fenster by the collar going, are you claiming to be a better drinker than I am? And like pushing the guys to one side, I'm going to start like half dragging him back in again towards the bar going, well, we'll see about that. And then I'm going to sort of like test him to see if he actually is drunk or whether he's getting thrown out on some pretense.
That all sounds fantastic. There's a number of skills that could be, a number of domains. Let's make a roll and then work out if that happens as it does.
Well, I think it's compelled because I'm definitely trying to get people to do what I want.
Yeah, definitely.
And I'm going to argue for low society because it's about getting drunk and thrown in the street and stuff.
Yeah. The guards and Finster are all low society.
So you
can definitely have that.
I get a 9.
Fantastic. That's a normal success. Absolutely fine. So you do this. The guards stop at your approach. You've already sort of laid the groundwork. They know that you're not to be messed with. And you see them sort of gingerly looking to each side. You grab Finster up, and he's like quite happy to rescue. He says, "Oh, fantastic! More of that algae champagne." Grabs the bottle and takes a swig. I'm absolutely parched. He isn't drunk. He's not had anything to drink at all, really. What he seems to be saying is right. He says, "These men just grabbed me and tried to throw me out."
You can't get the staff, Finster. You can't get the staff. Come on, you come with me and tell me what you've been up to. And I'm going to try. Well, I'm not going to try. I'm definitely going to use my carouse ability. So when I get drunk with someone, I game a bond with them until the next day. And I can't see into the future, but I'm imagining that might be the rest of the adventure.
Yeah.
So
one way or another, yeah. Yeah. But if for some of the NPCs, if they make it to the next day, that's what Devlin Winters thought it would be. But yeah, it turns out not.
So he might not be drunk yet, but that's only a matter of time and algae champagne. So I'm going to start drinking it, and I want to find out like what's he been doing. Has he seen the boss because he's not been around for ages, and just generally get his view of what's going on.
Fantastic. So we get a little montage of you drinking. We'll cut back to the conversation that Thoth is having in a bit, by the way. And a little montage of it over the algae champagne. And he's in great with Mr. Winters. He's like his most favoured gunsmith. He's always very happy. He's just finished making completed the Mr. Winter's like own suit of armor, which is like a massive suit of furnace plate upstairs. You will recognize furnace plate as being the absolute top line of defense. Like if someone's in furnace plate, even you would think twice about sort of starting on them because stuff just bounces off it. It's armor 4 in game statistics. Is what you recognise from that. And everything. He hasn't seen Mr. Winters tonight. He says, but some of the guards he knows as well. He says he thought they were his friends, but they say they've got orders to throw him out, and they seem to be saying that he's drunk too much and telling him it's for his own good.
I mean, if someone was suspicious, they might think that there'd be some kind of coup d'etat that was going to happen tonight, and lots of people would die. And maybe they're getting you out of the way. But that doesn't seem very likely. So you're probably safer staying in here behind the locked doors and windows.
You notice that look of fear flashes across his face. Oh, no, it doesn't seem very likely at all, does it? What a ridiculous idea. Let's hope that doesn't happen, eh?
He's definitely not got any like lieutenants or other people that are dissatisfied with him and wanting to take his place, has he?
I mean, there's his son, Devlin Winters. Oh, do you think he might have plotted to overthrow him? He's very bitter. He's very bitter about everything and a little bit unstable.
Yeah, maybe. And then there's like in my mind's eye, there's a flashback to this body behind me in the window. It's just like
pool of blood. Okay, while this revelation is going on, Patricia is saying, so you'd be wanting your regular shipments to you, Olga? You'd be wanting your regular shipments of guns? Is that what we're after?
Patricia, darling, haven't you heard? There are some new players. I have information, but my word, you look gorgeous. How are the kids?
Doing well. I keep them out of places like this. Well up the spire is where they stay. I don't have to work, you know. I just enjoy the cut and thrust of dealing.
That's also, I heard you keep them out of trouble. That's exactly what I heard. Nothing else. The regular shipment. Yes, we would like the regular shipment, but I have a few questions about tonight, because I thought we would see the beautiful, famous Mr. Winter himself, but I heard the man isn't coming. Is he afraid? Is he scared of the crowds outside?
Afraid? Well, it's interesting that you say that, because I checked the guest manifest earlier, and there's 4 names here that shouldn't be, and I know that an invitation will get you in, but as I'm sure you do, Mr. Thoth, I keep very close eyes on my ledgers, and there was a very exclusive invitation list, and I don't want to make an awkward scene, but you weren't on it. Speaking of our regular shipment, I don't believe we've received that order for the last week. I just wondered if something was amiss. Probably nothing to worry about. Is it?
I think one of our runners got lost.
Probably nobody's up to anything, are they?
No, of course not. And behind my back, I fumble with a matchbook. And I just throw the match behind me into the trail of hard liquor that I left.
It's quickly a way to end the conversation with this distraction. Fantastic. Well, let's see how that goes. Perhaps, because I think the setting it on fire as distraction is going to work anyway. But I think there's a bit about...
The whole bar should... I don't know if the House of Stone, it might not burn, but the whole bar is covered in hard liquor.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to create a distraction. I think it's not going to be enough to burn the big mansion down and everything, but it's certainly going to get people rushing to put it out and so on. I think what's at stake here more, though, is that if Patricia finds out that you're onto her, if you see what I mean, if Patricia has worked this out, or whether this sort of the conversation where you're skirting around what's actually happening is enough and she's happy to just play that game, whether she realizes that you're actually here to kill her boss or something that serious. So I think it's probably deceive.
Yes.
Because there's a moment there where you said, no, we're not up to anything, which is definitely a lie.
I also threatened her kids, sadly, but I threatened her kids.
So as deceived, so get a D10 if you've got that. She is very, very high society.
Well, then I have another one.
Go for it, yeah.
And I roll it. A 10 and 2 ones, but a 10 nonetheless.
It is a critical success. from there. So yeah, I think at the flame goes up, and she immediately goes, "Oh my God, stop! Get your blue robes!" and like pulls you away from it, completely forgetting about anything that's going on. The guards are rushing towards to put out this fire.
Split my arms around to say, Patricia, you saved my life. I owe you one. And I step away from her.
As it dawns on her that she's just picked up a debt. You've just picked up a debt to her, which is nearly as bad as her picking up a debt to you. While this is all going on, let's just briefly visit Dobros. Elizabeth is keen to make some small talk with you, and is very chatty, as the effect of this drug that you've done with her take hold. Is there anything you're trying to get out of this conversation? Any information you're trying to get from it, or what's your intent here?
First of all, I want to instill a little bit the fear, like, well, them barring up the windows and doors cannot be a good sign now, can it? I mean, we are here in the middle of the hall full of soldiers of, let's say you're, not partner in crime. How secure do you feel here? I mean, this is surely not a nice place. You surely brought your own people in here.
She looks around and says, "You make a good point. The doors are being barred. Would we be safer outside with the mob?" And you see her sort of summon her bodyguards and saying, and clearly indicating that you're with her now as well, and so you will be protected by them should anything kick off.
I try to nudge her a little bit on, like, if violence breaks out, then you will fight for yourself and instill that fear. Then I will play a little bit into this. Well, you know, what if Mr. Winter just organized the whole thing to be after you? You should be really careful for that. You know, you should take him out first. You should always take him out first.
Wow.
It's definitely the secure way to go. And with that, I hope that I can instill enough fear to use the do it for the story. An NPC you are asking to does exactly what they want to do at that time, regardless of social mores.
Okay, I think how we'll do it is it'll sort of give you access, but you'll have to roll. So you won't have a date difficulty.
Sure.
You've got to make her feel that first. Make her feel that paranoid, as if she needs to take matters into her own hands first.
For that, can I use the common fears, investigate an occult to cast, determine that people are most scared of in the immediate area? When you embody this, roll with mastery against those people.
I think that's fine, yeah, because and actually, whenever I've run this before, the common fears is very often used for people to do. I think their fear is this, so I'm going to use it. So yeah, her paranoia completely works. So you roll with mastery, you roll investigate plus occult, you get an extra D10 as well because you got mastery, to try and make her take matters into her own hands.
So that would be then 4d10.
Yeah.
What could possibly go wrong?
Yeah.
Well, rolling just once is always fine. Well, it's
as we said,
3, a 6, a 5, and a 2, so a 6.
So it's success at a cost. Okay, well, you're going to be taking some stress from this, and this is quite. I think, yeah. So your words cast sort of the two spells at once that you're doing, and you see her eyes, the paranoia flicker in her eyes, and she is indeed looking to sort of panic and is saying, yes, so this could be an opportunity. And you see her call her guards to her and sort of give them quick instructions and say that. And as her eyes dart from this way to that, looking at the barred doors, which even you notice they've locked as well. As you do this, though, you're quite close to her and you can feel the spell sort of reflecting a little bit back to you. So you're also going to take just 2 mind stress, which I think just goes off your free slots.
Oh, yeah.
You don't take any actual stress from that because you're protected, but you can feel the paranoia yourself easing in as you do this. Let's go back to Kovacs and just see where you're going before we sort of move towards a conclusion. So there's some movement. You can see there's some guards moving around upstairs now, as if people are getting into position for something. What's your plan now?
Well, I think first I'll do my little ritual. I'll grab my rope secure me, touch my armor shield me, axe, bleed them dry, and wipe the axe down free of blood, pop it away. And then I'm going to just go to the door and have a look and see if there is a way for me to sneak back the same way I came or not.
I mean, there certainly is. If you make a sneak roll, that's basically it. There are some guards moving around here, and you can sense there's a little bit of commotion here from it. So it's going to be sneak, and yeah, you might get high society for this as well, if you have it.
But not crime.
I don't think crime.
Okay.
There's a guard.
So 2.
Yeah.
An 8.
Okay, fantastic. There doesn't seem to be any opportunity to sneak past until you see a sort of group of 3 sort of well-built partygoers who you maybe recognise as being hanging around Elizabeth Threadneedle at the start of the party when you came up, sort of trying to muscle their way up the stairs past the guards and being pursued by them. And that creates the perfect sort of opportunity for you to rush back downstairs and reconvene with everyone. So you can rush back in, and Elizabeth sort of lets you off the hook a little bit, Dobros, now from where you are. And Patricia, likewise, then goes to sort of busy yourself and check that the fire is being put out. You've got a moment maybe where all 4 of you are together and you can maybe see what you think, share what you think is going on.
Well, I'll be like, so I killed Mr. Winters. The
That's
junior.
good. We can go home then. Oh.
You brilliant creature.
Well, you know, send a message. Take out the entire inheritance line. This seemed a good way to go. Also, he's useless. Getting weapons from him would be awful.
I set fire to the bar.
Amazing.
I'm a new friend, I'll say, with like a semi-conscious
swaying. He's got like 2 bottles of champagne, one each hand.
Well, Elizabeth here is just getting into position to help us with our task, so we should.
Do we think he's here, the senior? I can't work out if he's trying to kill everybody or if someone's trying to kill him or what's happening. But we're all sealed in here.
Somebody's definitely trying to kill him. It's us.
We
but
should get upstairs.
I think, because it was the gods, they tried to throw out his best gunsmith, so they want to keep him at least. And he has new armor, so I think he's going to kill us. He's going to kill all of us.
Oh.
So we need to act. He's going to kill everybody in this building.
And in fact, as you say that, there is another gunshot goes off, and you see Sal make her way down the stairs, and at the top of the stairs, you see the sort of portly, mustachioed form of Mr. Winters in his top hat and tight suit come down and says, sorry, I had to make an entrance. What a marvelous party. Happy birthday to me, everybody. Business is booming. Although I happen to have noticed that somewhere we've got a mole. Somebody here isn't being honest with me. I wasn't sure who it was for a bit, but I know at least one of you. And then from sort of the balcony, these 3 like bodies of Threadneedle's guards are like thrown. But I don't think that's the end of it. Someone's been colluding with my son. It might be one of you, it might be all of you, but I can't be too careful in this game. So, and as he does this, you see all the waiters are all sort of picking up and getting like their truncheons and axes out and guns. says, if you wouldn't mind being so good about it, we've got to clear this place up in the morning. But nobody's going to leave here apart from me and my men. And there's a sort of pregnant pause as everyone looks around and realizes that, as Thoth had intimated, that is what there's a bit of moment where you can seize the initiative because you've just decided that that's happening.
Can I cut someone's hand off with a gun still in it as a way of breaking the tension?
Break the ice.
Yeah.
What are you trying to do with that? What's your intent with that? Let's just put some stakes on it.
So it's to try and like get everybody to like rise up basically and start doing stuff. So as I hack the hand off, if that happens, I imagine like the gun hits the ground and the shot goes off, and then there's a guy spraying blood everywhere, and then everybody starts running in confusion, and it's like not the easy kill that Winters think it is, and like it might inspire people to fight back a bit and stuff.
Because the waiters all around are like lowering guns at people and moving in position. It looks pretty good from that. I think this is a good chance for you to use your setup dice right from the very first roll that you made actually to get that. So probably fight here, isn't it?
I think so. I don't know if you allow other things or not.
Well, what domain do you want to use? Let's see whether it fits.
I like the skepticism in your voice.
Yeah, I'm a little bit like.
Well, it feels like crime because I'm trying to murder someone, but like I don't know whether that's.
I think it's tricky with crime because I think I'll let you use it now because you're fighting against people that are criminals. It's tricky because if you do crime every time you do a crime because you're working for the ministry, that's all the time.
All the time.
It's criminal. So yeah, but I think because you're fighting criminals here, that works as well. And you've got your D10 mastery as well.
Good. I get a 9, please.
Yes.
Fantastic. So as described, gun hits the floor. There's a glass shatters at the bar. Maybe it sets on fire again.
My big pyramid of glasses I've got like piled up.
Yeah. Finster runs to try and reassemble them. And suddenly chaos ensues. And I think you see the people that were just standing in stunned silence, now that the guards are having to look this way and that for targets and aren't quite sure where they are, they're all racing for their weapons to do it. And a riot is happening. Let's just go around and declare what we're going to do now. And then we'll resolve it in whatever order makes sense. So as this riot is going on, Mr. Winter's at the head of the stairs. He has got guards at the bottom, and there are guards all around, like trained on people. The result of failing a roll is likely to be taking stress, which is getting shot or something here, just to be clear. So now that's happening. Gaz, we'll do you last because you sort of took that intimate action. What's Kovacs trying to do?
Well, we're here to kill Winters, so I'm going to start making my way over there.
So you're going to try and get to Winters.
And try and, maybe take out the guards at the bottom of the stairs or something, so it clears the path for the others to get by.
Wonderful. Thoth, what are you trying to do?
Well, I still have a bottle of hot liquor in my hands. I grab a coin, put it under my tongue for later, and I start praying while trying to make a little Molotov cocktail of one of my pieces of blue rope, light it, and throw it at the motherfucker.
At Winters? Or
at
is that
Winters, yes.
Just to be clear, which motherfucker you're referring to? So you're trying to set him on fire, basically.
I'm trying to set him and his whole party on fire, and basically, preferably drive them down the stairs towards Kovac.
Cool, fantastic.
Backup might be not recommendable.
And Dobros, what are you trying to do?
Oh, I'm looking at Mr. Winters and and how do you fancy the situation that your son's already dead? And try to rub that in to distract him from whatever attack comes his way.
So in order to do that, that's fine to try and get that message to him. You're going to need another way to do that message because all chaos is breaking out. So if you say that to him, he's not going to hear you because he's more concerned by the light. But if you can get next to him or something, I
will run into earshot and scream at him that. In a way that he definitely has to hear and see me and tell him that
make a scene kind of
make a scene kind of thing that he looks at me and not pays attention to the Coral trying to chop his head off.
Fantastic. And finally, Gaz, what's Katona trying to do? What's just going on?
But yeah, so it's kind of like, when artillery people like laser paint something so you can drop a bomb on it. I'm waiting to see where these Molotov cocktail lands, and I'm going to roll over and hit that with my sword really hard.
Okay.
So I'm kind of like following this flaming bottle as it's arcing through the sky towards Mr. Winters.
Fantastic. So let's go back in that order. So Kovacs, you're trying to get to Winters. You're the first to react.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to rule that you can get past the guards without too much trouble.
Oh, right.
Sal Griswold, though,
Oh, yeah.
built like the side of a barn door, steps forward with a very professional, no frills attached sword and stands in your way to try and stop you doing it. So getting past her is definitely going to be a check. It's going to be a difficulty 1 check, so you'll be only 1 fewer dice to fight her.
Okay. So I've got 1 for fight. I've got 1 anyway. I'm guessing crime and low society don't, unless she is low
I'll let
society.
you have crime because she is crime. She is
crime. Okay.
She's an enforcer for someone, so I'll let you have that threat.
So it would be 3, but because of the difficulty 1, it's 2. I got a 9.
9, fantastic. Roll your stress.
Amazing.
Oh no.
It was D6 for the axe, isn't it?
Yeah.
A 3.
Okay. So her armor takes most of that, but you manage to parry her blow with your axe. Hear the small gods whispering to you and cut through and sort of wind her, but she spins forwards again. She's not going to let you get to Winters unless a distraction, such as the Molotov cocktail, arrives. But you're sort of toe to toe with her. Thoth, you were trying to sort of Molotov it out. Let's make this roll for the setup and then see. Obviously, you're going to do it's going to have an effect there, and then Katona's going to sort of make it worse. So, does your coin under the tongue does that give you a skill? Is that right? Am I remembering?
It gives me a domain, and I'm going to use it for a domain I don't have. So it depends on what domains you claim. I can
use it for whatever domain it fits. Basically,
Yes.
That is how you make use of skill. Yeah. Which is, I mean, for Mr. Winters, it's low society, actually. He's
I have low society already.
Oh, right. So
I'll keep it for something else. I have fight, I have low society.
Spit the coin out.
Oh, no, I'm keeping that there. I know my God. He likes it when I count.
Yeah. Go for it.
Does Dobros, like, yelling comes before or after this?
It can come before if we want, I think.
Because then he would be perhaps distracted and that would count as help. Because if he's on fire, you can yell at him, but it might not be the same effect.
And if you want to roll it into 1 roll, so include it as a helping dice, that's fair enough.
Would you be okay
if you're
with
happy
that?
with that, Dobros, yeah. So you'll take the stress as well.
That was definitely my intention to set up something, so that fits perfectly.
Cool. Roll the d10 then.
We have an 8.
Fantastic. Success with no stress. So the whole sort of staircase behind you is on fire. Sal Griswold is distracted by this, but Kovacs, she's still not letting you anywhere near that. Katona.
I think. Well, it seems like a main assassin is not me. I'm there to help. But so I'm going to take on Griswold while she's like shielding her face from the flames that have just erupted around her. I'm just going to hack through with my sword. Well, that's the idea anyway.
Let's see. Fantastic. So fight and cheers. I think we said crime before.
Yeah, again, 8.
Yeah, fantastic.
Do
you want to roll your stress? Let's see.
I do, and because there's a crowd around, I get the brutal tag, so I'll roll 2 dice and pick the best one.
Go for
it. So 6 stress, please.
Okay, yeah, she is indeed distracted, and you manage to like throw her to the floor, and she sort of rolls around, picks herself up, but is like on her knees, still fighting you from there. Let's go back to Kovacs. You have an opening to get to Winters now.
Amazing.
What are you going to do?
I'm going to run through and try and chop off his head.
Go for it. He's difficulty 1 because he's an important fella.
Okay, so that's 2 again.
Yeah.
I feel this is going to go badly. Here we go. A 9.
No, indeed. Do you want to roll your damage?
Yeah.
And see what.
5.
Mm.
You know, he said you were going to try and chop off his head.
Yeah.
That is, you haven't quite managed that, I'm afraid, because I've just seen he's got some armor, I'm afraid. Sorry about that. But you do, you know, he ducks just in time, but his head clatters against the staircase, and he starts to scream and squeal like a baby. You feel 2 hands of his guards like on you, trying to pull you back. They've sort of crowded in now in amidst this sort of burning chaos all around that you've got. But luckily, all this chaos appears to be protecting you a little bit. But there are 2 guards that have got hands on you, Kovacs, as you go through to that. Let's go to Thoth now. You're still a little bit back from here, but you can see this melee going on. All of this is kicking off, and it's quite hard to see. Like, all about you, various members and guests of this party are being taken out, although they've risen up and rioted. The heavily armored guards are winning, basically. Most people have arrived to this party tooled up, but only with what they could conceal, apart from Katona, obviously, who's got a massive sword on her back. So it is sort of going a bit, and the guards are still on the doors are still locked and stuff. Just to set that scene into you, what's your plan, Thoth?
I try to find our gunsmith friend.
You can find him. He's cowering below the bar.
And I grab his shoulders and I said, "The blue-clad god has plans for you, but it requires you to open the door. I will guide you there, and you will open the door, and you will tell all the poor people. We will proclaim that the house is up for looting."
He says, I mean, as already established, he's been drinking with Katona. I've got some lockpicks here somewhere. And he, like, as all of his toolkit spills out on the ground, and he's like scrabbling around. Scrabbling around in this burning fire. So yeah, getting him to unlock the doors is going to be a task, to try and get him to do it sensibly. I don't know what skill it is to corral a drunk. Compel, probably.
Compel low society?
Yeah, compel low society. Go for it.
One could try. I have a 10 though.
It is, yeah. It's a critical.
This man is the best.
Yeah, you managed to persuade him to leave all the stuff that he spilt over the floor and get his lockpicks. And he's there at the door doing this. Guards are rushing towards you, though, as they've seen this happening as you do it. Let's cut to Dobros. What are you doing?
Well, I think I will... my plan was to get either to the gunsmith or to the door and open it indeed. So I was making my way also there. And
well, you can see there are some guards that are...
exactly. So seeing the guards that are rushing towards the door, I just try to keep them away with my rapier from reaching the gunsmith until he has opened the doors.
Fantastic. A bit of swordplay. So that will be a fight, and they are, I think, probably crime, actually, these guards.
Oh, that is 1 die then.
Okay. Go for it. What could go wrong?
Definitely. That is a 2.
Oh.
Failure could go wrong. Yeah, your rapier is less effective than you expected. You are going to take 6
ouch
blood stress. You don't have any blood resistance, do you?
Nope.
And I have to check for fallout now as the guards fall about you, and that is indeed fallout.
Okay.
The good news is that you're on 8 total stress, so that means you only take moderate fallout. On 9 you take severe, and the other good news is you get to remove 5 stress. So 5 of those blood stress are going to go away, but you are going to, however, take some fallout, which let me get something that's...
As I see him pulling the rapier out, I'll be going, no, the penny's mightier than the sword. The guard started mobbing.
I was considering stabbing somebody in the eye with a pen, but...
Well, that may have been more effective.
Most likely.
As you draw the rapier, you just feel your legs sort of taken away from under you as a guard sweeps you down. And then another one lands on top of you as you're still like clutching this perfectly made rapier. And you feel the crunch of your leg break as you sort of lie on the floor. Your fallout is a broken leg. And leaving you sort of on the floor, the guards like crawl up and make their way towards you, Thoth, to try and get Fenster out and take you out. We'll come back to that in a minute, though. Katona.
Yes, standing shadowed by or surrounded by these flames, and having knocked it to the ground, I'll be stood above Sal Grimwald with my now flaming greatsword above my head, shouting, "I have the higher ground. It's over." And then I'm going
one step above her.
Yeah. about 4 inches. Yeah.
Go for it. I forgot before, but she was probably distracted, but she's difficulty 1.
Okay.
Sorry, I deliberately gave you an extra dice because she was surprised.
I mean,
yeah, obviously that's how I did this.
Clearly, that's what happened.
Yeah.
2 10s. How's that? How do you like them apples?
I don't like them at all. I think that means you get a +2 to your. Yeah, you get +2 stress. Each 10 gives you +1 stress to what you do. So.
Ace. Told 9 stress then, please.
That is going to be enough to take her out. Would you like to describe how your flaming sword cuts her down?
Yeah, I'll look over to my shoulder to Kovacs, who declares his intention to cut Mr. Winter's head. I'm going, like this. You swing from the hips like in a wood chopping motion, and I'll like hack off Sal Grimwald's head so it bounces down the stairs.
You mansplain. You mansplain to a small god round.
Mansplain decapitation.
It's all in the twist. It's in the twist.
Speaking of Kovacs, you have 2 guards behind you, and Mr. Winters in front of you, scrabbling to his feet.
Could turn a mansplaining beheading to me as well.
Yeah.
Get fired up.
Yeah. Can I still swing my axe at Winters, or am I restrained? Like, can I not?
You can. It's going to be difficult though, so that's going to be 2 less dice. 1 for Winters and 1 for the 2 guards that you're ignoring to try. I
think that seems silly then. Instead, I will. I might just attack one of the guards, try and get them off me.
Cool. I mean, you can attack them both at once. That's fine. You can just make a roll to deal with them first. Yeah.
Well, I'll try and chop off both. Now I've had it explained to me, I feel like obviously I'm more capable. So I will
just encourage him to actually follow the instructions.
Swing and try, from the hips, and try and chop off both heads and say, like this?
Yeah. Oh, come up a step as well. Get up a step. Just give me a step back.
Okay, I've changed my mind. I swing. I swing for Katona. That's enough.
Push Katona downstairs.
Okay, so we're going fight and they're low society, are they?
Yeah.
Are they?
No
so
difficulty.
Is that 3 dice? No difficulty.
Yeah, no difficulty for them. Let's go.
6.
Oh, so you are going to take some stress. You do succeed. I might they're going to guards. I'm going to let you decapitate them.
Both of them, yes.
However, as you do that, you're going to feel a knife in your side, which is going to give you 3 blood stress. Your armor's probably okay. You did your sort of like prayers to it, so you're just going to take it off your free slot as you somehow Kovacs is without taking any stress at the moment. But yeah, and you managed to 2 more heads go bouncing down. And Winters looks even, but as you turn back towards Winters, you know that in a sort of shaky, blood-drenched hand, he's holding a pistol at you.
Yeah. Okay.
Sorry, that's Kovacs, wasn't it? So Thoth, the door is about to open. However, 2 guards are just about upon you and are swinging their clubs. You can see the sort of broken form of Dobros behind them. And it's a question of whether they go for you or go for Finster, who's just got the lock done. What do you do?
I'm thinking about how bad of a person Toth is.
You have to think for this long.
Yes, I basically I think he grabs the drunken wobbly man and pushes him towards the guard and says, this is Mr. Winter's best weaponsmith, and you know you should have not damaged him. And I wham him into the guards while I try to run out the other side.
A literal human shield.
Yes, but I
Yeah.
try to keep him
High
a
value.
little bit safe verbally.
Yeah, you've explained why they shouldn't hurt him first. That makes it okay. Yeah, that's yeah. Okay. I think you are probably trying to compel, or maybe deceive. I think actually, because they're trying to stop you getting out. I think it's deceive because you're trying to create a distraction for that. And again, low society is
awesome. That's 3 dice again. Ooh, another 10. They have been instructed well.
I mean, that's basically good news for Finster. As you can see, they look and they were meant to throw him out before, and they're sort of they know that, like, Winters asked for him to leave so he didn't get slaughtered in the crossfire. You get the door open into the street. The mob is there, all sort of assembled there. You can see that they've all gone away and got sort of tooled up because they've realized something's going down. They found the body of Devlin Winters. And at your sort of emerging out, there's a moment of like, this crowd is before you.
The blue-clad guard predicted a riot and the house shall be ransacked.
Okay.
And I'm happy to throw silver stress at it, where I just grab my fat coin purse and I throw it like back into the house for the crowd and to encourage them.
Lovely. Let's make another roll for that, because that seems to be that will change the situation a little bit. Just check while that's going on, Dobros. Is there anything you're wanting to do from on the floor before you get trampled by this mob?
That was like, get out of the way, like crawl away, and probably find a broken chair that I can use like sort of as a crutch.
Yeah. You can fashion a way to sort of limp out of the way and try and find if that sounds right. So Thoth, let's make a roll to see how enraged we can get these. But we'll pause on you for a minute to see just how enraged you can get these rioters.
That felt like it was a good news, bad news for Dobros. It's like, oh, your leg's been broken. This massive fat purse of silver lands next to him. It's like, oh, I'm going to turn the rough with the smooth, I guess.
Every clan would, yeah.
Is that compel on religion?
It's compel, and it is low society. They are very much the working masses.
I have all of those.
Yeah.
A 9.
A 9. Yeah, you have plenty more silver where that came from. You don't take any stress. And as you step aside, this mob marches in from there. Katona, you can see this sort of over your shoulder happening. Mr. Winters is still there with a gun pointed at Kovacs. What are you going to do?
I'm going to try and bookend the fight, as I started off by cutting a hand off, holding a pistol, and I hope to do the same again, as it seems only appropriate. I presume he's difficulty 1.
He is, yes. Dobros is taking notes to.
I'll get a 10, however.
However, yeah. Well, do you want to describe how this works? You're going to cut his hand off. You're going to finish him off. The floor is yours, basically.
Yeah, so I did exactly as I said. I like cut his hand off. The pistol hits the floor, and it's like the starting pistol for the mob to come running in through the doors as that happens. And as he collapses to his knees, I'll look over at Kovacs, encouragingly nodding away. Go on. And Kovacs can do the lumberjack motion with the axe to cut his head off. Yay!
We clash sword and axes together and walk out.
Fantastic. So you have completed your mission. Just at this moment, everyone's rushing in. Are you wanting to claim this or make any sort of sign as to it being the ministry to try and encourage it? How are you going to do that? You've managed to kill him in a particularly messy and obvious way, but is there anything more you want to add to it? I'm looking particularly at maybe, again, this is sort of Dobros's wheelhouse a little bit.
My first thought was actually to look if Elizabeth's still around, to get her on our good side and like lead her out of the mob's way to safety, because her guards are severely reduced.
And they're in piles on the floor, not moving, whereas you're still moving.
Trying to find her and get her out, and then while going out, going like, the ministry demands you burn this house down. throw down the oppressors, and then sneakily go out the back door.
Somebody said the ministry. Who was it? We don't know. Must have been the ministry though. And yeah, you're able to claim the victory for your for your ministry, and the tide has been turned momentarily. You managed to get Elizabeth Threadneedle on side. Patricia Isen, of course, survives. She's not really in a position to take over the family business, but I think there's probably an opportunity for her and Thoth to have a little bit of a meeting of minds afterwards from that. There's nothing left to do except for let's have a little bookend on the characters and see where you are after you've completed this mission. So let's flash forward. Maybe stuff's died down a bit. The mansion's been burnt down. Red Row's a very different place now, and certainly that area's got the ministry stamp on it. There's lots of like recruits there. There's lots of people that are up for helping you out and hiding stuff and getting you stuff. Let's just go around again and what little vignette of our characters, what little scene do we see of our characters as we watch the credits roll? Starting with Katona, what do we see of Katona?
I think it's the thing that Katana did was went and got that expensive set of armor before leaving the mansion, but that he's like twice the size of the actual person it was intended for. So we see him out on one of his typical stag days with all these boys, all the knights from the pubs down the docks, and because they normally wear quarter plate, like him and his three mates have got like a quarter each that they've fashioned into bits and pieces around them.
Massive power armor.
Yeah. So they're all busy drinking and all the rest of it, and probably at one point in the middle of them you spot little Kovacs who went, show us again, and there's all the wood chopping motion and stuff like that. Yay! And we're basically going on a tour of the pubs, telling everybody about what happened.
Fantastic. Speaking of Kovacs, what do we see of Kovacs? What's your scene as you celebrate the year?
Yeah, I think probably Kovacs is praying and giving thanks to the protection that her armor offered her, the swing of her axe, the guidance of her rope, and just giving thanks to the small gods, and then probably does a little bit of celebrating with the others as well, because we did pretty good.
Lovely. And what do we see of Thoth? Okay.
You see a scene where Thoth sitting across from Patricia and with a bit of evil smile slices a document that is horrendous blackmail on her kids. That if this comes out, she does not have her anymore. And you see Patricia blanch, and then you see how Thoth walks off with 2 very heavy purses and a new weapons contract.
Lovely, yeah, fantastic. I knew Patricia would come up there. And finally, what do we see of Dobros?
Oh, Dobros, you see him sitting in a chair with his leg up in a cast and typing on a typewriter, and you just see the headline of the story being like oppressor taken down, first oppressor taken down. When will the Red Road?
Yeah.
Red Row. When will Red Row be free of the oppressors? And behind him are printing presses going like.
Yeah. Lovely, fantastic. Well, thank you to my players, and thank you to you, the viewers, for watching. Spire is available from Rowan Rook Decard. This is actually one of the published adventures. There's a book of one-shots, Shadow Operations. It's got, I think, about 10 of these, that are all little pacey one-shots you can run in 2 hours in lots of things. Remember, thanks for watching. Remember to like and subscribe. And let us know in the comments below if you want to see us to do more of these. Return to Spire, maybe return to Heart, the dangerous and weird dungeon underneath it, or if there are other games you'd like to see us do. But in the meantime, thanks for watching, and we'll catch you later.